The ancient bronze bell from the moss-covered belfry tolled, each strike slow, resonant, and profound, piercing the dense mist that shrouded the summit of Vovi Mountain. Inside the silent meditation hall, the faint, rustic scent of frankincense coiled in the air, carrying the absolute serenity of the monastic realm. The venerable Zen master, his hair and beard white as snow, clad in a simple ash-gray Dharma robe, sat in the lotus position on a worn, tattered cushion. His eyes were half closed, as still as an autumn lake without a single ripple, seemingly having transcended all impermanence of the human world. Opposite him sat a young acolyte, his face etched with extreme exhaustion, his forehead beaded with sweat from the anxieties and vexations of the red dust bouncing his mind. The disciple spoke with a trembling voice, imploring a method to find peace amidst a world fraught with pressure, rivalry, and endless turmoil. The Zen master slowly opened his eyes. His gaze was deep, compassionate, and all-seeing. He smiled faintly, lifted a steaming rustic ceramic teacup to take a small sip, and then spoke in a deep, warm voice that resonated like an echo from an ancient past. "My child, before we speak of peace, let me tell you an ancient tale. Once upon a time, there was a man who profoundly hated his own shadow and the footprints he left upon the ground. He believed his shadow was the embodiment of dark vexations, and his footprints were the indelible mistakes of his life. He resolved to shake them off at all costs. The only way he could conceive was to run, and so he stood up and began to run. But alas, the faster he ran, and the more footprints were imprinted upon the earth, and his shadow still clung to his form relentlessly, like an evil curse. He thought he wasn't running fast enough, not decisively enough. So, he exhausted all his strength, running headlong across desolate fields, over steep hills, running on and on under the scorching sun until he was spent, his chest bursting, and he collapsed dead beneath an ancient oak tree by the roadside. He had bartered his very life without realizing a profoundly simple truth. He only needed to step into the shade of a spreading tree and sit down to rest, and his shadow would automatically vanish. And when his feet ceased to move, no more footprints would be created. The Zen master paused, allowing silence to envelop the space until the sound of wind whistling through the bamboo grove outside the veranda rose in a rustle. He continued, "Do you see? We humans are often exactly like that foolish man. We tirelessly race against life, frantically seeking peace, yet we use the very agitation and striving to pursue it. The more we force ourselves to find serenity, the more we bind ourselves to the fetters of vexation. Peace is not a destination for you to exhaust your strength running toward. It is the shade of the Bodhi tree. You only need to stop, let go of things that do not belong to you, and sit in stillness. When your mind ceases to agitate, peace will naturally manifest." The disciple lowered his head slightly, seemingly having vaguely realized something, yet his brows remained tightly knit. He asked, "Venerable Master, but how can I stop when tomorrow is full of uncertainties? How can I not worry when the future is a murky shroud, containing countless dangers waiting to swallow me up?" The Zen master gently extended his hand, pointing out of the rustic wooden window, where dark, ominous clouds were roiling in from the horizon, obscuring the bright midday sun. "Look up at that sky," he said. "Those dark vulturine clouds are like the terrible scenarios your mind paints of the future. When the black clouds arrive, bringing thunder, lightning, and raging winds, you fear that the sun has vanished forever, that the world will be plunged into cold and deadly darkness. But what is the truth? The sun is always there, radiant, warm, and eternal. It is only your limited vision that is obscured by these illusory temporary clouds. The future is a beautiful yet ruthless mirage woven by your own mind. You banish yourself into scenarios that have never occurred. You fear the collapse of your career, the loss of wealth, the calamities and illnesses that could descend to claim your life. You tremble before "what if" questions. What if tomorrow I lose everything I am painstakingly building? What if a severe illness strikes unexpectedly? What if those I love most turn their backs on me? But my child, awaken. The future does not exist here, right now. It is an invisible realm, an indefinite space that you can never touch. The suffering you are enduring does not come from the future. It comes from your own excessive imagination in this present moment. You are using the phantoms of tomorrow to strangle the life of today. You are poisoning yourself with a deadly potion called worry. When you devote all your mind to worrying about things to come, you are like a person trying to shield yourself from an unreal storm. You build sturdy defensive walls, put on heavy armor, only to exhaust yourself and collapse before any wind actually blows. Worry does not stop bad things from happening. It only plunders the joy, serenity, and strength of the present. Remember, if you have enough strength to face today, you will also have enough strength to face tomorrow, when that tomorrow actually becomes the present. Do not carry the burden of the future on the small shoulders of today. Let the dark clouds come and go on their own. Do not try to blow them away, nor fear them. As long as you keep your mind still, the light of wisdom will naturally pierce through the cloud cover, illuminating the path you need to walk. Your job is to sow the seeds of goodness in the present. As for how the tree blossoms and bears fruit, let the universe arrange that. The disciple sighed, his gaze dropping, carrying a deep, brooding sadness. Teacher, I can try not to think about the future, but what about the past? The mistakes I've made? The opportunities I've missed? The hurts I've endured from others? They cling to me like leeches. I cannot forget. They torment me every night. The Zen master slowly stood up, walking with gentle steps like drifting clouds to a bronze basin filled with crystal clear water in the corner of the room. He picked up a small pebble and dropped it gently into the basin. With a plop, the water's surface agitated, the concentric rings of ripples consecutively spreading outward, striking the basin's rim and bouncing back, creating a chaotic mess on the surface that was previously as flat as a mirror. Look at this water's surface, the Zen master said, his voice melodious. The falling pebble is an event that occurred in your past. It has sunk deep to the bottom of the basin, lying there still, cold and motionless. Yet, the ripples on the water's surface continue to spread, pushing against each other relentlessly. Your past is like that pebble. It has ended, sunk into the void of irretrievable time. But your mind is like the water's surface, constantly agitating, roiling because of illusory echoes. You try to stick your hand into the water basin, wanting to smooth out those ripples, wanting to make the water's surface still again immediately. But the more you flail, the more you try to intervene, the more turbid and violently disturbed the water's surface becomes. You cannot change the fact that the pebble has fallen, nor can you use force or compulsion to command the water's surface to be flat. The past is a dead land, a closed book. What has passed, whether radiant glory or utter ignominy, whether supreme joy or heart-rending pain, all have vanished into the indifferent flow of time. You cannot reverse the chariot of time to correct a missed word, cannot retract a wrong action, nor relive golden moments that have receded into dawning time. Yet, you imprison yourself in the dark dungeon of memory. You chew over and over old pains, cutting into wounds that have scarred over, so blood flows again and again in your mind's eye. And you lament, if only that day I had done differently. If only that terrible thing hadn't happened. You're praying for an impossibility, a fantasy. You're using the precious energy of present life to nurture ghosts already dead. Torment over the past does not bring you atonement. It only brings destruction to the soul. It drains your life force, blurs your eyes, preventing you from seeing the miraculous beauty of reality. You must understand that every event happening in your life is a lesson ordained by the universe to temper your soul. Nothing is an absolute mistake, nor is anything utter misfortune. Do not judge the past. Do not try to cling to it, nor try to banish it. Let it lie still under the bottom of the mind lake. When a sad memory rises, simply observe it as you watch a dry leaf fall outside the veranda. Do not identify yourself with that leaf. Say to yourself, that is something that has passed. It is no longer me of the present. Only when you stop stirring the water's surface, stop intervening in the ripples of memory, will the lake of your mind gradually settle, the dirt will sink to the bottom, and clarity will return. The rain began to fall pitter-patter on the moss-covered tiled roof, each droplet succeeding another, creating a Zen song of heaven and earth. The disciple closed his eyes, took a very deep breath, feeling the cool freshness of the rain scent pouring into his chest. He said softly, "So, I only need to live for the present. But Venerable Master, even in this present, I still see full of things contrary to my wishes. I do not like my current job. I am tired of the people around me. I loathe my own circumstances. How can I be peaceful when the present is a tangled mess, full of pressures and injustices?" The Zen master smiled, a kind smile like the full moon shining amidst the black night. He stepped out onto the veranda, holding out his hand to catch the icy cold rain droplets, letting them slide through his fingers and fall onto the stone threshold. "Look at this rainwater flow," he said in a gentle voice, blending into the sound of falling rain. "Water is the softest thing on earth, but also the strongest. When water flows as a stream, if it encounters a large rock blocking its path, does it get angry? Does it resent the rock for blocking its way? No. Water simply bends, flowing around the rock, or patiently erodes it over thousands of years. Water never opposes reality. It accedes to nature, harmonizing into every circumstance. Whether a narrow crevice or deep abyss, it still retains its inherent nature of clarity and coolness. Your suffering in the present does not originate from circumstances, but originates from your intense resistance against circumstances. You always carry in your head a rigid mold of how life should be. You want everyone to treat you well, want work to be smooth, want the weather to be pleasant, want everything to go your way. And when reality does not match that illusory mold, you give rise to anger, resentment, aversion, and suffering. You're like a person standing amidst a roiling river, but trying to use your bare hands to push back the water current. The more you push, the more you exhaust yourself, the more you are submerged by the water current in despair. Why do you not relax your body, lie on your back, and let the water current support you to float along? Those contrary things in the present are the rocks in the river of your life. You cannot clear away all rocks. You cannot force this vast world to operate according to your small selfish wishes. Others may deceive you. Illness may visit your body. Wealth may grow wings and fly away. That is the law of impermanence, arising and passing away of all things. Instead of opposing reality, learn to accept it fully and unconditionally. Acceptance does not mean giving up, cowardice, or leaving things to fate. Acceptance is profound understanding through wisdom that everything is happening exactly as it must happen according to the law of cause and effect. When you stop judging the present as good or bad, right or wrong, you will see your mind as light as the clouds in the sky. Do not cling to things you have, because fear of loss will make you choke, nor loathe things you are facing, because aversion only increases the power of pain. Live fully in each kshana, instant. When eating rice, only know you are eating rice, sensing the sweetness of each grain. When sweeping the yard, only know you are sweeping the yard, listening to the exact, sunner rustling sound of the bamboo broom. The present is the only place life exists. It is a priceless gift, a fertile ground for you to sow the seeds of awakening. The rain outside the veranda had stopped. The first golden rays of sunshine pierced through leaf crevices, illuminating the meditation hall, brightening the disciple's face. He clasped his hands, bowed deeply before his venerable master. Venerable master, your teaching is like amrita, nectar, watering my parched soul. But amidst the bustling red dust, where humans are swept into the vortex of food, clothes, money, of pressure and fierce competition, how can I apply these profound philosophies into daily life? The Zen master stroked his white beard, his kind eyes looking at the disciple, slowly concluding, "The way does not lie somewhere far away. The way lies right within the most commonplace activities of human life. To keep the mind unmoving amidst the 10,000 changes of life, engrave in your heart these 3 practical lessons, like 3 lighthouses guiding your way through the murky night. First, practice the art of detachment. When facing heavy work pressure, criticism from superiors, or malicious judgments from the mouth of the world, step back 1 pace in your mind and tell yourself, these are external factors. They do not define my worth as a human being. Do not let your emotions be bound by the attitude of others. Do best your part of work with a pure mind. As for what the result is, how the world praises or blames, let the wind carry it away. You're only responsible for your actions, not responsible for the world's reaction. Second, establish a forbidden zone for the mind. Each day, spend at least 15 minutes completely disconnecting from the noisy world. Turn off the phone. Walk away from the computer screen. Find a small quiet corner. In those 15 minutes, strictly forbid the mind from wandering back to the past to regret, or launching forward to the future to worry. Focus only on the breath in, breath out. Sense the rising and falling of the chest. If thoughts storm in, and smile and greet them, then gently return to the breath. This is how you whet the sword of mindfulness, cutting through the chains of vexation, binding the soul. Third, transform adversity into a Dharma hall, place of practice. When life throws at you bitter trials, a failed project, a broken relationship, or an unexpected illness, do not play the victim, blaming heaven and resenting earth. View it as a wonderful opportunity to practice patience, compassion, and wisdom. Ask yourself, what lesson is this adversity teaching me to become stronger and deeper? When you change the perspective, turning obstacles into stepping stones, you will no longer fear any storms of life. My child, true peace is not a place where there is no noise, no trouble, or no hard work. True peace is when you stand amidst countless such disturbances, yet in the heart still retains stillness, clarity like an autumn lake. Let go of control. Stop chasing your own shadow. Just live fully, breathe fully, and let all phenomena naturally operate. The temple bell tolled again, each strike, dissolving into the void, carrying human world's vexations away to the endless place